Styles of the rich and the famous.
It's sent. That's key. Sent.
I forgot the rest of the words to that song. Ain't that weird? They used to be my jam.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. Yeah, Good Charlotte. Yeah.
hmm I had Good Charlotte and Simple Plan were the first two CDs that I bought, like with my own money. And then I'm trying to find the record button. We are live on Facebook, so just be careful if you have anything you're going to
Very
say.
spooky. What? Then you can't play no music in the background. No music.
I do what I want. I'll play music if I want to.
Everybody
I don't want to.
that.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Out Loud podcast. With Red or Green Books. Look, I messed it up already.
Bugger.
All right. In conjunction with the Out Loud anthology by Red or Green Books. Harley, I'll get you a copy. And we just talk about LGBTQ issues. You got myself and Douglas Kala in the house with us today. Yeah, we just call him Dougie Fresh, whatever.
Yeah.
Here on the podcast. I don't know if any of the other hosts will join, but if they do, they do. Today we are interviewing and featuring Harley, who is my homie from the hood. Not really, but let's see. I got a bio. I'm getting it pulled up. I'm just, never prepared. And I just messaged you, so you should be at the top. There we go. So Harley, formerly known as Kevon or Bond, is a Pittsburgh-born and based artist, three-time Steel City Slam finalist. I don't know why he didn't win it. Someone else may have. I don't know. Artist Talk Mental Health 2023 cohort, Pittsburgh Poetry Collective board member, and he uses the medium of spoken word, photography, and comedy to explore and express themselves as a Black queer artist. You model also. I don't think you put that on there, but I see your pictures.
Yeah, I'm on a little bit. Dark straps.
Pulls a lot of his inspiration from his favorite artist, Prince. Favorite color is black, which he wears well. He enjoys video games. They enjoy video games. I apologize. And cosplay in their free time, all of which you can see on their Instagram, which is amazing. So yes, hello, happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
How's everyone's New Year going?
Pretty smooth. No complaints.
Anybody got
Yeah,
plans?
it's okay. Yeah. Nothing too exciting. I mean, I know there's that whole like Cat Williams beef happening.
Yeah. It's entertaining for sure. I'm not gonna lie.
It's spicy. Got real spicy.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
it is. Yeah.
Did you see that? So I think on the last show we did talk about it. Where there was the one mother whose son went missing, and the cop hit him and like hid his body behind the police station, and then they just found out 215 bodies were hidden behind there.
Oh my God. No, I
Yeah.
didn't hear about that.
Oh
Wow.
no, I didn't hear about that.
So they just got like mothers lining up, like, my son's been missing. Can you see if he's one of these people that's been? And they've just been identifying people who have been like marked missing that have really just been behind this.
Wow. That's shocking.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wait, where was this at?
One of the southern states. Once I see South, I just don't even. Y'all know somebody gonna come for me. Don't cancel us. We like the South too.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, that's 215 bodies. Wow.
Of all different, not just Black bodies, all different. So it is you obviously know it's getting the attention it deserves in the media. It's been a lot of crazy things in the media. I saw in Florida, they're claiming that aliens took over the mall down there. Those
My
videos.
little sister was telling me about that. They were saying that like everyone saw like 8 foot, 10 foot like this dark creatures that just walked.
Yeah.
Among us. So
Yeah.
Was that a South Park episode?
No, this is real life,
It's
real
real
life.
life.
But yeah, so exciting. We're only what 7 days
One
into
weekend, yeah,
2024.
yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be a great year.
Absolutely.
Um, but in this year, you are our first guest.
What's
We're going
good?
to try to feature um more members of the LGBTQ community throughout the year. So 12 guests over the 12 months that we are here. So starting out with yourself, tell us more than what I gave you in the bio. Tell us about you.
Absolutely. So I began writing or doing performing arts. I would say um like when I was 6 years old. I'll never forget. My mom was like, she would have me watch old cartoons like the Thundercats, Transformers, like from the '80s, not necessarily the time because we didn't have cable, so we had like the VCRs. And I was like, oh, I would like to, like I love Panthro for some reason from Thundercats. I don't know why I love them when I was a kid. Like Rhino was the main character, but I love Panthro for some reason. Don't know why till this day. So I used to draw him as a character for my own comics because when the cartoon went off, I kind of wanted to still have my own adventures. So eventually that transferred to everybody. Everybody I feel like who was a poet went through the rap phase. So that went to me doing comics to me wanting to be a rapper. I had like a terrible rap name. It was like Dragon X, which is the worst rap name ever. So when I was in English class, an English teacher had saw me writing raps, like, yo, you should do poetry. And from there, I kind of started writing poetry on and off, all the way from, I would say, starting in 8th grade, all the way to where I am now, but not consistently. But I've always like wanted to dip my foot in the arts. But because I played sports in high school, I played football, and where I went to school at, you couldn't do anything else. So you played football during the fall. Winter you worked out for football. Spring you ran for football. And summer you got in shape for football. So there wasn't really time to do anything else, like to do theater, to do any type of art or acting out, or even continue my poetry or my writing. Because I was also trying to get a scholarship. So eventually as I became a young adult and an adult, I kind of found my way back into the Pittsburgh scene. I was able to then start doing poetry, to start doing some modeling, as you said earlier, and just really just because I'm so attractive. I don't know why a few things, right? Thank you. And then like also just with me starting doing comedy, people always felt like I was kind of funny. So I was like, how can I work all these things together? So that's how I kind of got to where we are today. So
I'll let you know. I think everyone who fails as a rapper becomes a poet, but I will let you know my rap name was Anthrax. So,
look, so I started rapping in like the little forums online, like the little dot text battles. So you have to like battle someone. They set you up like, yo, you got to battle this person. So you had like
mhm.
text out your battle and stuff.
Me
That was another
too.
thing. All right, so like yeah, like the like rapbattles.com. There was like a couple other ones I was on. Like that was like I had a really horrible name that I will not tell y'all on here because I don't want to cancel before we get started. But it was a name that I know what it was. It was I don't know why they gave because someone gave me the name. I was like, this is bad. Hopefully no one ever finds the name. So really bad name. So
Like,
yeah,
what
and
was
that's
your rap name? I know you had a rap name at some point. You got an album out. You gotta have had a rap name.
Rap name?
Hmm.
yeah.
No, it was just like no. I've always gone by my given my birth name. I never had like I had an AOL screen name.
Hmm.
I mean, that was sort of rap like Poetic Firestorm,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but I
That
didn't
was
I didn't go by that moniker like in performance. It was always like Douglas Calla or Doug Calla or yeah. I never adopted another identity. In a
hmm
sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. So, Harley, and I'm interested in this because I've only been acquainted with you the last I want to say 3 years, possibly, maybe only
Mhm.
two. And I've seen a lot of you coming out of your shell with your identity. Um, but tell us a little bit about that, like how your queer identity has kind of fueled your choices and the decisions that you make.
Absolutely. So I always say I always say like damn I'm just being gay in my 20s as a joke because like I feel like I did. But I didn't really have like I can't remember a time in high school and necessarily in college where there was really this big identity thing. I would probably say that in 2014 specifically, I remember being in one of my ex's cars and crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm having a like I don't know who I am anymore. You know, in 2014, it's like I don't know who I am. Like I feel I have these feelings, I have these emotions, I have these wants, these desires to explore these different things, but like I've never felt these before. Like so I remember 2014 was kind of a time for me. We had broken up and not I didn't really explore those issues. I was kind of still focusing on my career, my job. And you know, around 15, 16, I kind of start well, no, I didn't tell anybody or they would even identify it, but I started hanging around different places, different people, you know, just started like putting my ear to different things. And then it took until I want to say 2017, 18. I met one of my people I would call like my mentor friend, Shauna. You may know Shauna Blackwood. And they inspired actually why I wear a lot of black, why I am who I am. They just gave me a space to be very comfortable. The Pittsburgh Poetry Collective has always been a space where, you know, queer people were invited, people were free to be themselves. If you look at our board, people would joke and say, oh, our board is kind of gay. It is super gay. Our board is heavy gay. But it's just always been that space for us to be like, hey, this is who you are, be who you are, be yourself. I think meeting Shauna, getting more involved with the PPC, and just really just becoming more comfortable with who I am and the person I am. And no, because, you know, you come out like, I've always been seen as like, this big, tough, masculine athlete. And, you know, because that's what I played football since I was, you know, in ninth grade. I played football, rugby, did track. So there wasn't really time or space for me to really find out who I was within myself without being a label or stereotype or trying to find a place to fit in. So, you know, I would say around 2017, 18 is when I really began to explore things. The comfortability really came after the pandemic, I would say, will be my most comfortable space just because I got tired of it. Like I got tired of being like, this is who I am. Like I feel like I was hiding. I got tired of like leaving clubs at 2 o'clock. Like, where are you going? I'm like, well, I'm going home, but I wasn't really going home. I was going out other places. I was going to the after hours. I was meeting up with people. I started kissing people who look like me, didn't look like me, things of that nature. I just got tired of hiding. And I was like, you know what? This is who I am. I'm about to be close to 30. I was like, it's just time for me to start living the truth. So that's how I kind of got there. I'm still working on getting there. I always tell people like I am a bad example of a gay person because I can be toxic at times. But like, so, but I'm just trying to get there because it's an ongoing process for myself. So that's fine.
Yes, for sure. Doug, if you have any questions, you can always just hop in.
Yeah. What about how has your let's see, how has your identity informed your spoken word performance?
I've been trying to make sure that I am conscious of the people around me, people in my environment, and make sure that people I meet, voices are being heard. Like I think if you see, like you look at my social profile, one of the top things on my photos is I have a shirt that says, "Stop killing black trans women," and that really became a big part of me coming out because I've heard so many horror stories of down low men or men who weren't comfortable with their sexuality, you know, being outed, and you know, violence happening to people in the community. And I always tell people, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, either way you take it, I look like some people. I may or may like not like somebody's abuser, someone who a down low, or someone who may like, you know, be kind of a predator. And I hate to say it like that, but I'm just being like completely honest. So like became very important to me to present as an ally first, and you know, and as a member of the community as I am, but just to really tell those stories and like, you know, be in the forefront of not necessarily being in the forefront of you know, what they're seeking to do, but also being like, look, there are black men who are masculine that are, I consider myself bisexual, that loves, or pansexual, however you think it. But that needs to be put out there that you can be loved and not loved in a closet or not loved in certain space. You should be loved everywhere. So that became very important with my art going forward. And that's why I try, even when I write love poems, I can be speaking to everybody. That's not like, you know, a woman or whoever I'm dating at the time, but speaking to everybody. So.
Yeah, and you know, for me, we all know I don't leave my house, so I can't really talk about like the Pittsburgh gay culture. But from moving where I did, because as you know, I'm not from Pittsburgh. I came here, and it seems to be a pretty open culture. I see, like, when you walk downtown, you will see a lot of trans or other identifying people out in the open. However, we also had those whole situations um, with they're trying to say it's the smiley face killers, the men who identified as other, and bodies have been taken out of the river too. So it's not a safe space for gay men, especially in the market, uh, down by Market Square and things like that. It seems where they always go missing from. Um, so yeah, what would you say the Pittsburgh scene is like?
I would say that Pittsburgh. I always say when I talk about this, not outside the scene, but just Pittsburgh in general, it has an identity crisis, right? So it wants to be progressive, but it wants to be conservative. It wants to be traditional, but it wants to be nuanced and brand new. And you run into people, so it's like clashing of ideas, right? So we have neighborhoods like Lawrenceville, right, where it's like, you go to Lawrenceville, you feel safe, you feel inclusive, you feel included. But also there's still seeds within even those type of communities where it's like that's not comfortable, right? Because I always say, like, as a Black person, you're not only are you fighting or going against, some of the people's prejudice and ignorant thoughts of you. Even when you're a Black person inside a gay community, you're going to get some of the thoughts of the Black people inside the gay community, thoughts of you, and people who aren't Black or people who aren't people of color. So you still see those things. Like I said, I'd never say I'm the front person to speak about it. I think there are trans women, Black trans women in Pittsburgh that can better speak of it. I think there are Black women who are queer in Pittsburgh that can better speak to that. But from what I've seen from the things that they posted, is that they're still trying to fight for their space and their acceptance, so that it's not, the typical, hey, this is gay, but this gay space is only cool and safe for queer white men, right? So they want to make sure the space is safe, clear, and cool for everything, because we all want to come together and we want to, share our community and we all want to have fun at the Beyonce concert. You know what I mean? We all want to have a good time at the Beyonce concert, and that's the thing, right? So you want to, you create these spaces, these ideas that you want to have everybody feel inclusive, feel loved, and and that's the thing with Pittsburgh. I think we're trying to get there. There are artists who are taking steps forward. I want to shout out DJ Honey Rocks. I think there are individuals taking steps forward, Sisters, PGH, things of that nature, who are trying to take a step forward to make sure these spaces exist. So,
Yeah. And that actually had to do with the next question I had for you, because I know you recently took a position. I want to say president of the Pittsburgh Poetry Collective.
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
In addition to that, what are you doing to create safe spaces for people like yourself to be able to explore their identity and be themselves?
I think with being the president of PPC, I continue the tradition of what I brought it to, right? So one of the things that I said earlier in the interview is that PPC was the reason why I felt comfortable coming into the space and being myself. I think with me being the president and stepping into other venues, like whether collaborating with Wine and Poetry or Poetry PGH in Millville, where I'll be hosting the show on Tuesday, not to promote, but I'm promoting. It's just stepping out of those spaces, showing my face and being like, hey, I'm here, I'm an ally, come to my space, come in. I think last year being part of the artist cohort where there may have been individuals who necessarily didn't know LGBTQ Black male, specifically one who presents masculine, and me telling them, being open about my experience and who I am, pushing it forward. Even at my work, at my work, I present like, I don't hide it. I don't hide who I am or what I am at my job. And that's something I even took a step forward to this year, to make sure that, hey, this is who I am, because I think that's super important, that they see someone who's capable, smart, intelligent, and very focused and driven that within my community. Because sometimes, like I said, people they see what they see on TV, and they don't necessarily have friends or people they experience or maybe had good experiences with. So I try to make sure that, even as a Black, like I said, this is like almost double down being a Black man, because as a Black man, that's one thing my dad taught me, was like, yo, you step out, they don't just see you, they see everybody else they met. So you got to make sure that you have a high standard. But being a Black queer man in Pittsburgh, I definitely want to make sure that when I step out in any space, anywhere I go, that I'm raising myself to a standard that everybody feels safe and comfortable around me. And I think that's what I could do for now. I think also, like I said, continuing to post, like, be positive with my art and my work. In other ways, I got to help the community out.
I'm letting someone by the name of Ken into the room. I do not know a Ken, so
I don't either.
that's just heads up to everyone.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
You know Ken?
Yeah, they are I would probably they do a lot of beautiful things in Pittsburgh, and I would better let them explain it one day than I explain it. So thank you for coming. Or, they've been,
Yeah.
very
We're on the internet. We can't guarantee that it's a safe space, but it is a brave space. So I just, letting you know in case someone joins the room that has ill intentions. Um,
absolutely.
uh, and yeah, so you were touching on the topic of intersectionality, and you know, we had that conversation last year in one of our shows talking about how there's this part of you where you're a black poet, black artist, black creative, but then you may not always be comfortable in that space because you are also a queer creative, or
Mhm.
and that intersectionality makes it a little bit more difficult um to kind of create and get your artwork out there.
Yeah.
um let's see. So you said that you started writing when you were a kid. How long? I know you use different mediums like photography, all that. We talked about that in your bio. How long have you been creating, and what does that mean to you?
I would say I've been creating for probably since I was 8, like I said, around 6 or 8 years old. It's just always been a place to escape, a place of safety. Um, to me, it's just been like I always said, like sometimes you watch something on TV, you're like, damn, I wish this could have went this way. But what happened if you went this way? Like we're always watching, we presume these things. It's like, well, what if this was like this? Or what if this sounded like this? And I think we have so many medias today, where we could be like, you know what, let's put these two things together. Like I'll put an example, like today, I posted on TikTok a video of someone wearing all Tennessee Titan uniforms. Like he was like a Crip, but he was Crip walking to like the Renegade song from the Steelers. And it was funny to me because Steelers fans needed the Tennessee Titans to win in order for them to get to the playoffs. But it's just like those little stupid ideas that come in my head. I don't call it stupid. Little ideas come in my head like, this is kind of funny. But also like, this is creative, this is new, this is nuanced. And where can I go with those type of stories, right? So like when I write poetry, I always say that, a lot of times I write the same poem over and over throughout the years. It's just my perspective changes because I've gotten older, I've got new experiences, I got new information. So I think that, um, even like when writing love poems or writing a love poem about a specific situation, I can write something that has matured. And I'm thankful that I've actually lived long enough to actually write these things because I would hate what 2014 Keyboard would have to say about, or 2014 Harley would have to answer to now, you know, knowing the information I have now. To look back at something I wrote about in 2014 might be ignorant, but thankfully I'm here to live and kind of go through that, I guess.
Um, well, you said you've been creating for that. You've been creating for that long. Were you encouraged by anyone? Like, did you have any mentors growing up in your
Um,
early creativity days? Like when you first started kind of getting your sea legs in terms of all these different mediums? Like, do you have anybody to look up to, or either in your own either in your own sphere or like in the greater like major people, like depending.
I would say, like I said, my birth mom was the one that got me into like the first writing of it. I have a lot of cousins that were creative in their own way, um, and that was kind of helpful for me. Like I said, just other people around me, and not necessarily even if you did poetry, like if you did musicals, if you did comedy, if you were just a funny person at the lunch table, you're doing beats at the lunch table, things like that, all factored into the person I am here today. So like, when you look at it, it's kind of funny. Like, the person that hit a beat for me on lunch table in 8th grade that made me rap, I can still remember them hitting the ground to beat and being like, okay, this is what I was rapping over. I don't know what I was saying. I probably wasn't saying something that was probably ignorant. I remember like that's just stuff that built into my ability to freestyle when I get on stage. Uh, just the experience with Sean, as I was pointing out earlier, going to these clubs, listening to Prince, Lenny Kravitz, just the artists that I've been exposed to have all feed into the person I am today. And the beautiful thing about it is I don't think I'm even anywhere close to where I could be. As long as I'm video games, anime, things of that nature, they all tap into that. So, going to Comic Cons, cosplay, everything, it's so funny how everything feeds into one another. So
Cool.
Yes, yes. I think everybody partied to the grind and beat, at least for my age limit or my age group
Yeah,
with the pencils. That was my thing.
it was a time.
Um, so you kind of touched on this a little bit, but if you had a chance to say something to your younger self, give a message to your young. Whoops, I didn't mean to mute you.
Yeah.
All right.
What would that be?
It's gonna be a I don't want to answer this one too quick. Hmm. Trust yourself. I think that would be the big thing I would say to myself. I think a lot of time I spent a lot of time in my life trying to fit into these different boxes, trying to be accepted in these different spaces, and trying to do what I thought was right or what people would make people happy. And when I realized, you have to live with your decisions, good, bad, or indifferent. Even if someone's telling you something that's great, look on paper, it sounds great, it all makes sense. If you don't want to do it, you're not going to put your heart into it. It's not going to work out the way that you would like it to work out. I found the things in my life that I like doing, enjoy doing, that I truly enjoy doing myself, motivates myself. Those are the things that I enjoy most. And it might be something as simple as playing a certain type of video game, wearing a certain type of clothing, what I do for my job, my profession outside of work, the poetry I write. If I don't enjoy it, if I don't trust it, then it's not going to come out the way it should come out. When I'm taking photography, when I'm taking photos of myself, those things won't come out unless I have trust in that coming out and it being something I love and I enjoy. So that's the biggest thing I would probably tell my younger self, like, hey, trust yourself. So it's going to be okay. Like, if you trust yourself, you already have the work ethic, you already have the heart. Just keep figuring it out from there. And I think those are something I would probably tell myself.
All right. So what I'm going to do as our feature, it's 6:30. I'm going to give you 15 minutes to just kind of um let the room acclimate to you. Share some poems. If you have any artwork or anything you want to share, you can do that as well. I will give you co-hosting abilities that if you want to share screen, you can. If you want to show any artwork or anything like that. But the next 15 minutes is for you to do so.
I get like 15 minutes. It's a lot of pressure.
You don't have to take
So,
the time if you don't.
oh, it's all good. It's all good. So I was just going through my new polo journals. And I got like some short things I want to share. I call this one painted nails. Um, I painted my nails myself. I can position them in a way where they'll look fine, but if you were to ever look closely, you'll see the imperfections. The moments I was impatient, not careful. You'll see my inexperience. You'll see when I tried to paint over my mistakes and not fix them. I painted my nails myself, a metaphor for me. That's one short poem. Um, I have like a bunch of short ones. I constantly write a bunch of short poems, and I'm trying to get like one of my things I'm working on this year is to be able to write stuff that if you read it, I don't have to say it, but you like it, you can kind of get a better idea of it. Because I think I have one of my talents, my skills is entertaining, but I want to get to the point where I can write something that someone is like, oh, this is kind of cool, this is dope. Like I want to get a better pen. A short way to say I want a better pen. So, something else I wrote. Under blue skies, maybe cloudy, maybe under a roof with another human, animal, or hobby. Find happiness under blue skies, maybe cloudy, maybe under a roof, but alone in your mind, find joy. That's what I wrote. I said I have like a whole poem of short things. Like this actually the cool thing this guy pulled through, dragged down. These are all different short poems. Like I just all put together. Oh, so I did this poem recently, and it's actually posted on my page. It's in draft form, so it's not complete. But I love this poem a lot, and I want
Is
y'all to
this a
hear it. So
bisexual poem? Because I was going to ask you to read that.
which one?
The bisexual
Which
poem
one?
that you posted recently.
Is this my? I'm reading this. I'm not sure. Is this my bisexual one? Biology for my homie.
Maybe read it.
Okay. If white blood cells only live 13 hours, skin cells only live 2 to 4 weeks, red blood cells only live 120 days, and I ain't fucked them in 6 months, Does that mean I still have to claim them? Does that mean it even happened? I mean, baby, this ain't even the same me. That skin you said you loved died. Those lips you said that coiled around you and made you explode passed away. When you text me months later saying how much you miss me, do you know you're texting about missing a dead body? Are you into necrophilia? Why are you texting me about me that I don't even know anymore? I am involved. Better yet, that old me is dead and gone, and this new me don't want nothing to do with you. I am caught up in something new, caught up in the exchange these current cells with another, brushing my teeth with their private parts and using their juices as toothpaste. And baby, when I swallow them, they taste like life. My body feels rejuvenated. My skin is popping. My cells are grooving, fighting to stay alive just to get that feeling again. Baby, I feel bad for the cells that had to die on you, die with you. Just to let you know, when we got done, I washed my skin extra hard just to let you know I had to apologize to myself. Like, I don't even believe I did this. No one deserves to go out that way. RIP to myself. So I asked, if white blood cells only live for 13 hours, skin cells only live to 2 to 4 weeks, red blood cells only live 120 days, and I ain't fucked them in 6 months, do I still have to claim them? I'm not sure if that's that one. Is that one?
I say you don't have to claim them if you
Oh, I don't have to.
know.
Is it this one? It might be this one you might be talking about. I'm a pretty nigga. Can I say the N-word a lot? I don't want to be saying the N-word a lot. I can't say the N-word.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
All right. Well, how about this? I'm pretty. I said I'm pretty. I'm like super pretty though. I said I'm super pretty though. I said nail polish and lipstick, lick click and light dick, but that don't mean shit. I'm still black, so I still gotta deal with black shit. Them intercops still gonna click. Employees see my name on the resume, they gonna click. Still gotta check my verbiage, code switch. I said I still gotta check my verbiage, code switch. Painted nails still called nigga. Black lips painted still called nigga. I said my painted nails still called nigga. Black lips painted still called nigga. It can be dripped out in rainbows, but they only care about this brown skin. I said it can be dripped out in rainbows, but they only care about this brown skin. Karen's still gonna pull out her phone and click. See me being held down against my will, they're gonna click. I said, see me being held down against my will, they're gonna click and not help. All they see is me over 6 feet and be like, why he defending herself? Or what did he did? Don't give a damn about my peace in my heart or the insecurities in my head. I said, they don't give a damn about the peace in my heart and the insecurities in my head. Whether I'm mentally stable, I'm the calmness in stressful situations, I'm capable, but they expect anger. They expect so much anger. That's why them cuffs are still going to click. I said them cuffs are still going to click. Up in the middle ward, they're going to see me go click. I said them cuffs still going to click. Middle ward, they click. My sexual orientation or education don't come in conversation. They just click. I said my sexual orientation or education don't come in conversation. When they see me, they still going to click. Because folks see me and see what they fear. Straight walking nightmare. Thank the media. Thank social media. Thank the country. Thank the culture vultures. Thank the vultures. But I'm still pretty. I'm still pretty. Yeah, so those are things that I'm working on this year. They're still editing and in the process. I don't really have any like art or anything of that nature. Please follow me on Instagram at Keivon B, Keivon _B. I say Keivon _B. And I will be posting more things there as this year goes on. But yeah, those are some things I didn't mind sharing today. So hopefully I heard it well. I have a weird voice inflection at times, so
No, it's fine. Thank you. Your 6 minutes of the 15 you were given.
it's all good.
It's all good. I'm just messing with you.
No.
So Prince, you listed him as your favorite artist. What's your favorite Prince song?
Great question. Windows Cry.
Windows Cry. Okay.
By far. It's blasphemous, right? Because it's on the Purple Rain album. So you're like, why is it Purple Rain? I mean, it rained when you played in the Super Bowl, but let's talk about When Doves Cry. and the speaking to like relationship with parents that just like hit me different a little bit. So it's like when that comes on, I like that's like one of those cars. I'm not car by myself. I'm karaoke. I'm like, so, like, definitely. What does cry? Another one I really like, Thunder, which is the first track on Diamond and Pearls. So nothing I really like. I've been trying to figure out another one. What's it? She doesn't compare to you. Word. I can't forget it. I don't know if it's a cover or original song, but I'm still trying to figure that out. But Purse has so much music. I like
So much.
so much, and it's a great thing because unfortunately I never got a chance to see him live, but I'm still coming through everything, and I'm pretty sure I only got even the stuff that I have access to isn't everything, so that's kind of beautiful in that.
Mm-hmm.
And also stop releasing his music. You don't want y'all to release his music now that he's gone. Please stop. Thank you. But anyway, I had to get out there.
They're still gonna do. They're still gonna do it.
That's all.
My hope is just that I know like her was a one of his proteges.
Mhm.
So if they do, I hope that she's involved in the project. But yes, he is little but powerful. Little Red Corvette was my favorite. 'Cause it was that song that I sung like growing up, and then when I grew up and like really listened to it, I was like, this song is not what we thought it was.
Isn't that like a lot of songs though? Like as someone who like older R&B and stuff like that, I be singing something like, oh, he's talking about cheating. He's not
So
cheating.
he's so smooth with it. And it wasn't actually until Frank Ocean in his song had talked about horses gallop to her throne that I
Yeah,
understood what he meant in Little Red Corvette. And I was like, oh my fucking God, these guys.
yeah, facts. It's like the metaphor. How did you arrange this?
Yes. Talk about using a metaphor. He was great at that. Um, Doug, you got any other questions?
Any
Huh?
questions? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, have you let me see. Where well, do you do you have any like do you have any books out? Do you have any stuff that you've put out, like albums or anything of that nature that you've produced since you've been creating?
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I created a chapbook back in 2020. It was called "Who Asked for the Moon." And it was something like I wrote during the pandemic. It was funny when I was thinking about coming on the show today. I was thinking about just everything I've been like the whirlwind and stuff I've been like from here to now. And uh yeah, thank you for sharing that tidbit with me about Miss Teresa about like the Prince. I do appreciate that. Any Prince fans connect that way. But it was called Who Asked for the Moon? And it really was it was written during the pandemic. I was jobless, I was depressed, and it was like, me trying to write my way out of depression. And I went back to it. So I still have it as a PDF file. And I hate every poem I wrote in it. And I realized that I don't know if when I wrote it at the time, like I said, it was the first chapbook. I did sell it. I sold a couple copies. And by a couple, I mean like 3 or 4. But I was very proud of that at that moment because I never sold anything in my life. And I always say that it's hard to sell one of anything. So if you can sell one of anything,
Sure.
you've done something. So I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would give it to someone. I wouldn't feel comfortable selling it to anyone. If I could find, like, I think the PDF is on this laptop. If not, it's on the other one for sure. That's what I wrote it on, and I would gladly share it with anyone. It's just it caught a time in the period, and I don't even think that I was the same person I am then I am now. But it is interesting. That's one thing I did. But really, it's funny. Like something when I was in the mental health artist cohort, they talked about imposter syndrome. And I think as artists, we go through this a lot where it's like, I'm not good enough to sell this, or why would anybody want to buy me, or why would anyone sit there and listen to me for 15 minutes or go on these diatribes? And I still feel that way. Yes, you get autographed coffee can. Absolutely. And I kind of still feel that way even today. Like, Shockie pointed out, like, you only did 6 minutes of 15 minutes. Like, yeah, because I'm in my mind, like, who wants to hear me talk for 15 minutes? Like, I'd rather us talk for, the 7. And, I'm still trying to work through that because there are going to be spaces in time where you do need to have the full 15 minutes, or people are actually going to want to be careful and investing in you enough to get more out of you, of your art and your work. So, I'm working through that still. So, but that's actually a great question, and I don't have anything coming down the pipeline. I'm glad about that. I'm really focused on the 2-3 poems I had for Steel City Slam in April, and I'm very happy about those. And I'm like super excited because I just feel like they encompass everything. They're shocking. We talked about the you say the word, it's the I word that you say, the intervention. Intersectionality, thank you. The click poem and the one I just read and the one I read before that are like the poems I really feel like I'm really getting there. Like I'm finally writing what I want to write and putting everything together. So, and it took time to get there. Like I couldn't write this poem in 2020. It took me everything I went through, being more comfortable with myself and to get there. So.
Speaking of slams, have you competed for have you ever done cash slams before, like for money?
Absolutely. That's Pittsburgh Poetry Collective before we were a nonprofit slam. From 2016 to pre-pandemic, it was cash prizes every Tuesday. I won some and I lost some. I paid my $5 and I got my money back. There was times I did get money back. So, but it was it felt good though. Like it was one of those things where the poets we had so many great poets come through the city. Shockie's one of them. I'm glad that forever when we have Shockie, we're grateful. We had the Shriek and Mitchell. Like you could go on these poet sites and you could be like, that person was in Pittsburgh. The Shriek and Mitchells of the world. JBRLY, I'm getting their name. That's their Instagram name. JAEBRLY came through. I can't remember their name off the top right now. Like there's so many renowned poets that came through Pittsburgh even for a year. And you got to compete against them and get to see what they did. And there's names I'm not even mentioning. The Jesse Welches of the world. So yes. And it's been fun. It's really been a experience. I kind of want to go back to competing for cash. That'd be kind of fun. It does.
The Grand Slam is cash.
Huh?
The Grand Slam is cash.
It is cash.
Yeah, and the one that I am featuring in on the 24th, is cash prizes also.
I can't be competing for cash to be the president. That's like Rick.
True.
The tough part about joining the board.
It's a little biased, I guess. Yeah.
That's a little bit. That's a little bit dirty. That's a little dirty politics there. So but I don't like I said, I'm at a point in the stage where I don't even care about putting myself out there like that. There's people who the incompletes of the world, that want people to see their talents and their skills. And anybody who I did a cohort with, whether that be Aaliyah Oliver, whether that be MIC Master Creations, Erica, the people who I've been around or people who see me post, I want to see them do great things. Because that feels good, right? That feels really good when you see people that you love, you care about, that are actually do things.
Sure, yeah.
The Lori Beths of the world, the Sarah Roses, I'm shouting everybody out. So yeah, I want to see those people do great things.
For sure. I will let you know I share my first book called Shattered Emotions, Scattered Thoughts. I wrote at the height of the pandemic as well. And I had gotten broken up with by someone, and the whole book is basically just me crying. It's poetry, but it's just the type of poetry you write when you just got broken up with. And I mean it has sold copies, and it's on Amazon though. So it's every time someone's like, "Oh, I went on Amazon," I'm like, "Oh God, please don't get that." I'm so much more happy about my book now, but I understand how you feel about that book, because that's how I am.
Wait a minute. I bought one of those. And I thought it was good. Are you saying that I got ripped off? I don't think I got ripped off.
I think you got ripped off.
I don't think so. That is called negative self-talk.
No, I'm not talking about this book. I'm not talking about this book.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about my old book.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about your old book.
Self-published book.
Yeah, I understand, but I disagree with you. It's called negative self in the mental health consumer movement. That is called negative self-talk. And I am not going to allow my niece to negative self-talk any of her poetry when she is the double slam champ of Pittsburgh 2 years in a row.
Talk about it.
And that means your old stuff is still a doodle by Picasso on a napkin in lieu of a tip for a waiter.
Gee, you can't be bragging when I got the president of the Pittsburgh Poetry Collective as my feature.
It's all good. Brad, talking Shockie. It's funny that they brought that up. My partner, you weren't there for the Christmas thing, but my partner.
I was on the computer. I did get a poem.
My partner loved your poem.
Oh.
Yeah, they loved your poem, which was funny because
were they there?
Yeah, they were there.
See, I gotta come so I can meet them.
No, so funny thing, right? You did your poem about Santa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, the Santa person was like, Santa seems like a terrible person. My poem coming after you was talking about wanting to sleep with Santa, and I felt I don't want to sleep with this guy anymore. Like, this person seems horrible, and I was dying. Like, God damn it! Like that happens in the poetry community so many times. Let's take it off of me and Shockie. Or you have your lineup set up like your 3, 2, 1. Because now we can talk artist talk a little bit. And like, I'm gonna do this poem first. But then like someone do a poem right before yours. Like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this one next, man. The room has just been shifted, or this might not be a good idea. But let's take it off of me and Shockie. That's kind of some of the funnier things with competing for money and competing for poetry. It's just like those things happen. How do you adjust around that? So funny, sadness in there. So
I competed in an improv slam one time, and it was like poems from a hat, and you took topics out of a hat, and you had to do a poem on the spot based on the topic.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was intense. Wow. Yeah.
I'm a shitty person, so there's the person who came in number 2 the last 2 years, Cheney. She's an amazing poet. So last year when I came, I was like, I'm doing these 3 poems, and she was like, oh, okay. And then when she went up and did her poem, I switched which poems I was going to do because I was like, absolutely not. Like,
oh wow, that was strategy right there. Yeah.
Oh, when money's on the line, things change.
Nice.
Shout out Cheney too, because Cheney's another individual that I need to give love to. Cheney, Joaquin, and Kevin Compliment as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's funny because that's what happens though, right? They call it like it's sports poetry, it's sports poem. Like, sorry, I'm bringing out my heavy gun. You're not coming out here telling me your best work. You think I'm just gonna keep my plan going? No, we're going for it. Throwing a Hail Mary, shooting 3, whatever sport analogy you want to use or whatever analogy. So.
It's a great group. Kevin Compliment actually 2 years ago slammed was one of the best poems I think I had ever heard. And I'm saying that like with any poet. He did a poem about his brother overdosing, and you had no idea. You had no idea that's what it was about. He was talking about his brother being an astronaut in space, and how like how he would go to space and he would do this, and he was his brother's hero, and that when they took the when he came back from space and they took the helmet off, he was blue in the face, and it was actually talking about an overdose. And I was just like, holy
that's
shit.
Like, yeah, that's like an yeah, wow. That's like
really good
an implosion of wow. That's incredible.
And that's what when I talk about like just people who you heard that poem is one thing, but measure reading it again, and it's good being heard and good read. And I think that's where the goal is to be. Especially as a spoken word artist, like, I can perform this for you. And because I'm a great performer, but if I can get this written so well that you just want to read this yourself, or like how Shockie explained Kevin's poem, that's where it's like, that's it.
Yeah, that's the staying power. That's staying power.
That's the staying power right there that you want with your art. So it's getting there. It's work in progress. So
I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's there. We just got to get you with someone who knows how to make the poems form on the page so that people follow it.
It's really like it comes down to like an aesthetic thing, really. Mm-hmm. Aesthetic and form and formatting and just like visual, like how to basically if you're thinking about it, think about if you're submitting it to like an editor, like how they would want to read it and like how not to let them have to do all this extra work by
Yeah.
having it formatted a certain way. You know, like I have to think about it like that. Like how visually seamless do you want to make it? You know, with like line breaks and things like that. Like there's so many different methods of having the words really pop. You know that. Yeah.
And aside from introductions, Douglas Kayla is an amazing performance poet out of New York City. You should look him up. He's amazing, amazing. He also has an album on Spotify that I've listened to a few times. So if you get the chance, definitely, you know, uh, look at his work because, like I said, he's a performance based poet, but he
Mhm.
also has when you read his stuff on page, it's still amazing. Um, but like I said, with his album, you don't even need a book. Like that album that he recently put out, very poetic, very, very good. Someone like you could even look into something like that, just doing an audio book or an
Yeah,
audio
you know, yeah.
album.
What you could maybe think about doing is either producing it yourself, or you could hook up with like a independent producer, which is what I did.
Mhm.
Um, Somebody took me on to actually mix and master my album, and it didn't cost me that much, but that creative like melding of producer hat and poet hat kind of like combined to create a really nice melting pot of creativity. And it worked out, you know, it actually worked out in my favor. Like I've gotten a lot of sales off of it. But it's not about that. It's about the artistic statement behind it, you know?
Yeah.
And like and I think if you're already a performer, so you can kind of gear your intonations toward being like a recording artist, which is kind of what I did.
Yeah.
Like I took what I knew as a performer and I adapted it to sounding good on record, you know? Like so it's doable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's something I didn't even think about, but now you're putting the idea in my head what that might look like. So thank you.
So we
Yeah.
got 6 minutes. Plug yourself, plug PPC, plug the
Absolutely.
album that you're putting out in 2025. Now that we gave you that
Absolutely.
information.
Yeah. Now I gotta give y'all producer credits, right? Like with a little CCs at the bottom. Little producer credits. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So my name is Harley. I go by Harley. He, him, they are appropriate pronouns, even she. I am still growing and figuring it out for myself as well. Um, you can find me on Instagram at Kevon, Keivon period B. It would have been Harley, but that the Kevon B period B is my birth name, and it's something that's very easy to find, very easy to search. And sometimes even in this interview, you see I still call myself by Kevon. I'm working through that process because I do love the name Harley for so. Just to plug some things. So this Tuesday, Pittsburgh at the Poetry PGH Poetry Lounge in Millville, I will be hosting an open mic. Open mic. So that means if you do poetry, you rap, you play instruments, things of that nature, come through. Do comedy, all that nature. Please come through. I'll be hosting it. More importantly, though, it feels I feel like a janky promoter doing this because this same Tuesday we actually have a Still City Slam event in Friendship at St. Clair Social, and incomplete will be how incomplete. At
Right,
St.
like
Clair's,
all the way at the end.
I know what's up, incomplete. St. Clair Social. I already gave you a shout out, incomplete. I'm gonna give you a shout out again. What up, incomplete? Yeah, I should follow incomplete, and their name is spelled that way, just how it is. INCOMEPLETE on social media. But we have a Still City Slam 333 Slam at the St. Clair Social and Friendship starts at 7. Sign up at 7. Show starts at 7:30. If you're a poet, you want to, hopefully try to compete with Shockie this year at the Still City Slam.
I'm
Shockie
not.
might
I'm
be.
not. I'm not competing this
We
year.
never had 3 in a row. We didn't have a back-to-back champion. But Shockie get the 3 in a row champion. This may never. And mind you, I want y'all to be very clear. The Pittsburgh Poetry Collective Still City Slam is something that's been in Pittsburgh since 1998. I believe Floyd Bethel something. So I'm
Perry
a
Rose,
president.
they are online as well.
Mhm.
You can join through Zoom and Slam as well. You just have to follow the Pittsburgh Poetry Collective on Facebook.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions with that, please feel free to reach me out to that. PGH Poetry on Instagram. PGH, like literally PGH Poetry on Instagram. Come through to that. And like I said, I run the Instagram page. So if you message that page, I'll get back to you within a day. Absolutely. Let me put some things inside the chat for y'all. While I'm in the chat, if you're on Facebook, Steel City Slam, Pittsburgh Poetry Collective, please follow those pages. They will give you information of where we'll be at. I will go into the links. I'm doing this wrong. I thought I was good with this. I'm not. I thought I was killing you. Wait, is it like new note? Create like new note.
Hmm?
I think that's it. If I create a new note. I don't know. I'm doing what the stuff they told me to do on
Just do it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
You trying to be fancy?
Yeah, I feel like I am trying to be fancy. So yeah, I will put that information in the chat. And no, yeah, I'm doing too much. Yeah, here we go. Like I said, Instagram, PGA Poetry, Facebook, Still City Slam, and we're also looking for different ways to get out to people. I understand not everybody has Facebook or wants to be on the social medias. I've tried to use Reddit, but if anyone has any suggestions, and the reason I'm saying that is because when I was at PGA's Poetry Lounge in Millville, I asked people like, well, how did you hear about the show? I said, well, I don't have social media, but I Googled it or things of that nature. And I think that's really important as artists and as people in the community that we find different ways to kind of share our stuff outside the social medias. So I'm all for ideas or whatever someone may have on how to better get our voices and everything out there spread because it's super important. So yeah. That's all. So like I said, please follow Still City Slam on Facebook, Pittsburgh Poetry Collective, Facebook, and PJ's Poetry on Instagram. And yeah, you'll find us there. So, Shockie?
Yes. All right. So again, before I end it, Doug, you got anything you need to say? You want to say, Douglas?
No, I mean that's seems like a very, very comprehensive very I mean you said a lot. I think we gained a lot. It was cool.
All right.
I don't think I have anything else. Yeah.
All righty, guys. Well, thank you for everyone that showed up. Ken, Incomplete, it's my first time having you on the show, so thank you for being here. Again, this has been with The Word is Right, in conjunction with the Out Loud anthology, produced by Red or Green Books, which was an anthology focusing on LGBTQ artists and creatives. And again, next time I see you, Harley, I will get you a copy of that for being on the show. I'm in there. I got a couple poems in there. I think Doug has a poem in there. But other than that, I thank you guys all for coming out, and I'm going to stop the recording. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
No doubt. All right.
It's all computer.
What'd you say?
It was all computer.